Welcome to Roundtables with Checkmate Fusion. I'm Legends Michael Carrick, and I'm joined by Robert Rizzi and Junteo of the team, and we're really excited to talk about the ban list today. Let's just start off with what you guys think about each card that was errated. Trunks' Powerful Sentiments was limited from the red Gohanks deck, and Sun Goku Multiple Awakenings was limited from this uh, yellow U7 deck. We'll start with Robbie, since you have quite a loud voice. What do you think about this limited list and how it impacts our game?
I think it's. I don't really think there was much of a ban list, right? Like, I mean, um, I think U7 needed to get hit. I don't know, 2 sets ago, was it? Is it 2 sets? Like, whenever Android 21 got quote unquote a neuter, like that's when we needed to see that deck get a hit. At this point, I can't remember the last time U7's won an event. Like, do you guys know of any? Like, I think it's been March, right?
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, I mean, so like the deck isn't good anymore. I guess it's good to say that, like, hey, we should ban stuff that's future proofing, because like if yellow ever becomes very good or they get a lot of other cards in the future, this could be a problem. But no, I think that was silly. And what was the other card they hit?
It's the red Trunks one drop from Gohanks that gives him double strike.
Yeah, I felt like that also was like too late. Like I feel like that should have been future proofed when that deck came out. Like, I think the fact that the Costa should have been our national champion, right? He lost in time because he didn't know time rules, which is on him. Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, how to do it all. We should have probably practiced that. A little bit of our fault. But, at the end of the day, like, that deck, it made it so dumb that in a game where we took away double strike because we thought it was too big of an effect when it costed 1, we were like, hey, you know what's better than 1? Let's make it 0. And like that's always a huge issue, I think, with the game, is that free's bad. But I do think limiting it now just feels bad, right? Like, it's like, do they have it early game? Are they now? Did they give their guy critical and double strike? Like, because now we're in a Bergamo situation where, like, now it just feels bad because if they crit you there, and let's say you lose 2 life that matters off double strike, and then they summon their Vegito, you're just like, oh, cool. You had your 2 secret rare, like, So, but yeah, that's it. So, but I'm fine with the rest of it. I don't think anything is broken. I know everybody is hating on Bunny Girl because of her interactions in Kid Q, but Bunny Girl is not anywhere near as broken as some of the other cards that you can do. Like she'll obviously get hit next ban list, right? Like, we have to tone down the deck. Skillless is probably one of the best decks there is. But I think what makes Skillless better is the fact that it's really just the SR, right? Like, the SR is what builds that deck, because even if you warp for 2 energy, you can be like, oh, by the way, 2 bodies on the field, kill anything pretty much, especially after negging it, and then 2 negs. So, like, you get to kill unisons, you get to kill bodies. I think the power level of 2 energy for that, like, we used to have Sin Shenron Aatrop, right? Like, that was the scary boss monster. And in those days, it had a requirement. Like, you had to be a Shadow Dragon, and it was very hard to pull off. Now they were like, if you're doing that thing you already do, here's 2 energy for the best combination ever. So yeah, it's all I expect is just every event to be who's the better Red Coup player, or who goes first. Like, it's very obnoxious to go second with that deck.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, June? What do you think about this?
Well, I 100% agree with the take on the U7. It's much too late. And I think it's funny that yellow is truly the color of one-ofs now. You can basically just play an entire deck of one-ofs with that deck. The Gohanks one is, like, quite weird. I feel like they should either allow it to exist in Archetype or just ban it altogether if they don't want jumper effects. It feels weird to leave it at 1, especially in a deck where that 8-drop Trunks exists, where you get to combo something from your drop. So even though it's limited to 1, you can actually still cycle it. My thoughts on Bunny Girl as well is it is toxic in the skillless deck when combined with Chaozu, because you are able to play two 30k beat sticks on your opponent's turn, which is just absolutely insane, especially when they're drawing a card and negging something 15 as well. It's just an incredible amount of value.
But that's
from
only if they kill your
all
card, though.
three. Yeah, that all stems from if they kill your card, though. But you shouldn't be punished that hard from killing a single card, is what I think.
Yeah, especially with how difficult it is already to remove a 30k like body. Like red
Yeah.
struggles awful to remove a 30k body already, unless you're the skillless deck and you KOing something 30k for free, right? Like, or for 2 energy. My apologies. So yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean I had the same thought. I mean I think U7's like ban list. WoW kind of weird because like we haven't seen. I think the last people I think that have won with it were like John way back in like March, and Sublet way back in like March, right? Like maybe 2 events in a row on Sublet. But I think what it does is like it finally pulls out all the cards we have in our side deck for that deck, right? Like no matter how like weird that deck is, it sucks to go into a tournament knowing you can just lose to somebody piling that deck because they just slam a 6-drop while you're tapped out, and like you're like, oh well, I guess I lost. Like it was fun.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's true.
yeah, so that and then maybe we'll see other yellow decks come back, right? Like maybe Trunks Cheetah comes back. I don't know, but and then of course yeah, Go Hanks. That's just like Robbie says. I think that's way too late. Like, what was the point? Yeah, I mean Go Hanks is good. Don't get me wrong, but I think one ofs already are dumb. It just makes it feel
Yeah.
like especially if you're playing like a mirror match, it kind of feels like one of you luck sacked the other. Like it wasn't outskilled, like one of you drew your one of, and then one of you didn't. Like,
Mhm.
great, so that just feels weird. And then like June brings up the fact that it's recyclable doesn't even feel like that much of a hit. Like maybe at worst case scenario, it's their last life. Yeah, my thoughts on Bunny Girl are similar to most people. I don't. I kind of wish it was hit, but I'm also glad it didn't because I want to see what the scaleless deck can do with its full power. Like I want to see what it can do in our game. Like we're all expecting it to be the best, but like what if we're wrong, right? So that's gonna be exciting. Moving from directly from that though, transitioning like if not skillless, what do you think is the best deck to beat in this meta? Or do you think it's just skillless? And we'll start with June this time.
Well, if I do think it's skillless is the deck to beat, but if we're not counting skillless, I think Oceanus has a really good chance. It's basically the same thing as skillless, but instead of paying 0 for no text, you're paying 1 to have text on your cards. You're both
Great.
just spinning out 30k beat sticks at each other, and I think it's also a really good deck.
Hmm. That's a fair point. That's kind of like the number of this format. I'll go second. That's kind of like the number of this set, right? Like everything's a 30k attacker. Right? Like skillless might do it for free, but like Gogeta's paying 1 for theirs, Oceanus is paying 1 for theirs. It's pretty odd how the power level of the game has just spiked up to 30. It's kind of like we're back in Dark Broly days suddenly.
Yeah, 30k is a very toxic number as well, because that's demanding 2 super combos worth of power. And you can
Mhm.
only do that so many times. And when they're throwing out 2, 3 30ks a turn, that is very difficult to keep up with.
Yeah, it kind of feels like comboing doesn't exist anymore in the game sometimes. At least defensive comboing. What about you, Robbie? What do you think is the most prevalent meta monster this next meta?
I think you're going to see the exact same thing we had at, God, whatever. It's been a really long time since I've been to an event. I don't remember where we were. Was that Peoria? Where it was like, felt like there was 5,000 Cooler Mill players.
Oh, North Carolina, yeah.
North Carolina. Yeah, I would say, because that's like your best answer for skillless, right? Like, if you're playing a 30k beat stick, you're effectively just giving your opponent a ton of targets to mill you. Like, it's just going to mill and mill and mill. Like, you're probably going to lose 2/3 of your deck in the first 2 turns. Like, it's just, you're not milling 1 card, you're not milling 2 cards. You're just going to constantly be milling, and then you're going to be like, oh, cool. My opponent has defeated me.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think I'm happy I'm not going to be there this weekend because I have a cruise, and because I think you're going to have, I think out of top 8, I think it's going to be 4 Cooler Mill.
I do, yeah, it is a good point that Cooler Mill is such an affordable deck and such an American favorite. Actually, coming from like an Aussie perspective, June, like is Cooler Mill big over there?
There are individuals who play it. It's not exactly a meta call people make down here. It's more something that people have been playing Cooler Mill set after set after set since set 9. It's their pet deck. They love it. And I'm sure they're going to be excited for this meta. But yeah, it's not something that we normally bring out.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I
mean,
think it's just in such a small community down here, it's kind of frowned upon to play Mill. So
yeah, that's fair. That's got to be just more highlighted when you're like the one guy in the room. You know, I mean, they did just watch it win like one of the larger nationals in the world, so I guess that's probably like re-bolsters their morale, for going for it. That's kind of cool. All right, we'll talk about, speaking of like what we think is the deck to beat, and we kind of like touched on Kula Mill as what would be the sleeper pick. But do you guys have any other sleeper picks or rogue picks that you would pick for this meta? We'll start. I guess I'll start. Oh, you can go.
Oh, go.
No, it's okay. Go.
All right.
You can start.
I think Soul Striker with the new champion promo is a very good pick. I think running the Cell Z card at 3, maybe even 4 to clear all those skillless cards is going to be a solid contender, because normally the way to deal with Soul Striker is don't hit them, don't awaken them. But in this meta of 30k beat sticks, there's only one way to win the game, right? You need to kill them. So they have to hit you, you awaken, and then you get to play the game. And it's great. And Soul Striker has always been a very broken deck once it's awakened. But it's just been, how do you get to that awakened point?
Yeah, without bleeding too much. How about you, Robbie? What you got?
Nothing that I want to share. So sorry.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah, I have Gen Con. I get one chance to play Masters because I have a really hard time debating about it. Is that I just found out that Dallas is a double Fusion World event.
Mm-hmm.
So then Sunday I can either play Fusion World for a regional, or I can play Masters for a regional, but I can't play both. The way they're getting it set up, and I'm like, I don't know which. Like, I don't have my invite for Fusion World Nats. Assuming we can play them both, we don't know. But
right. Yeah.
If I can, I'd rather get my invite.
Are you gonna play in those onlines coming up?
Is there Fusion World invites?
No, there's a couple Masters onlines coming up, like the 27th.
Oh yeah. So I guess I'm in the one. Is it next weekend we get to play?
Yeah, the following weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know I registered for it, but I know I'm in it, and I know I'm actually pretty excited for it because it'd be nice just to play. But I don't think so. For an event like that, I think you just play whatever's the best deck. Like I'll just play. I'm probably like 9,000% likely to play Kidku, just because we know it's one of the best decks, if not the best deck, and I'd rather just play that and then feel good about it. And then I don't need to be creative. But if it's in person and you're gonna you get a bunch of interactions, it's fun. Then I want to be creative. So for Gen Con, I'm trying to come up with something spicy that beats specifically Kidku, because that's a super big problem for me, is how much I feel like we don't get to brew anymore for big events. So I got nothing that I can share.
That's fair. I mean, yeah. I think on the similar point, I think onlines are just a different beast. You technically have less time in an online event, right? You can't just pick up your opponent's card and read it. If you want to find out any text, you're gonna have to look it up, and that takes time. And it's not like you're slowing down the game of play. You're actually just reading cards. So I think picking a deck that's faster and or simpler is probably just better for webcams. So I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, I was playing that stupid deck, the last one I was playing, where I thought it was super fast playing the Brawly, and I kept going the time because my opponents didn't know what any of my red cards did, and I didn't expect it. I knew it had been a while, but it never occurred to me that nobody had a single clue what those cards did, because it literally was just I don't know what your card does. And I was like, oh, cool. Mm-hmm. This one says I take a card. They're like, what? 1 second, let me go look it up. And you're like, okay. Next card.
What Brawly does is particularly toxic as well, so I don't exactly blame people for wanting to look up and see what that effect does.
Yeah.
Because it's not like normal hand destruction, it's like hand destruction with extra steps.
Yeah, yes. Oh yeah, it was super problematic, and it's my fault for playing it. But, I think that's a great point, is that the time beast is so much harder for time rules. You can gotcha somebody so much easier, and just be like, you didn't know about this one random card from BT1
Yeah,
That was on.
yeah, that's a good point. The I mean, going back to that sleeper pick thing, I wanted to talk about it when June brought it up, but blue, I think I've never been so excited to play blue and go back to playing blue. Like I'm so conflicted because like on one hand, Bean seems like the worst it's ever been. Everything's a 30k, so like being a 20k seems so pointless. It doesn't even put you in super combo range to get out of 30k attacks. But on the other hand, every tournament kit that's brought a blue winter promo card has brought such a banger for like the last 5 tournament kits. We got like Pilaf, then we got like Vegito, and now we have this Gohan. It's kind of sick to be a blue player right now.
Is there a blue leader besides Soul Striker that's good though?
Dude, SS3. I think that's like my sleeper pick if I had to pick one. Like you,
SF3. Oh, like the old. Oh wow.
yeah, the
you're
one that untaps 3. Yeah, I think
wow.
it's super cool. Is we have something that fits in that 3 energy slot. We're practically untapping like 6 now with the new promos and Vegito. Like the possibilities are so cool. So I don't know. That'd be my sleeper pick. And that bites into like the last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like what's something you guys are super looking forward to about Masters? I know we have a lot of doom and gloom talk about Masters. It is a really tough game, and pretty much the only people that play Masters now are the people that are either really good at it or the people that are starting to like kind of want more from Fusion World and they kind of want a few more mechanics. Those are like your pool for Masters, right? Or Yu-Gi-Oh players realizing that their prize pool is doo-doo butts compared to any Bandai game. So now they're coming over to like any Bandai game, right? And Masters is like the closest thing they have to Yu-Gi-Oh. What are some things you guys are looking forward to about Masters? Robbie, we'll start with you again.
I'm still just having fun with Masters. Like I for me, Masters never stopped being what it is. Like right now, I'm playing Fusion World as we do it because I'm an ADHD type person. But like it's just fun to play cards. So I don't really care how I'm playing cards. You know, like if I just get to play cards, I just want a consistent game. And I can't argue with how consistent this game has been and how much I've enjoyed that consistency because it's like cool. Like here, let's just have a good time. And I don't know. So like knowing that we have, we have nationals, and I'm assuming we have worlds this year. I was just kind of grateful in general because like when they made that announcement, what was that? August last year, whenever we had it, where they let us know that we were going to get the game regardless. I was just kind of like grateful that we at least got this year, and that if we get it, like my hope is that they're going to announce around Gen Con another, like I just would like to keep playing this game. Like I said, I made a video about it because I'm actually generically torn of what to play for the my 2 events. Because I'm like, Texas is an awesome time. It'll be big, it'll be fun, but like I feel like I don't know what other in-person regional I'll get to play in besides Gen Con if I don't do it. So I'm like, oh, I should really play in Masters. But then part of me is like, kind of that doom and gloom mindset that you just talked about. So I like that it's not over yet and we still get to enjoy it. And the excitement for this set I've really liked. Like, we run our Ginger Fusion store, and I haven't seen a set where I've sold out of almost all SRs in a long time. Like I don't have anything left. Like I have one Chaozu left to list on the site, but everyone bought Chaozus. Everyone bought up God Rares, SCRs. Doesn't matter what it was. Like people were like, nope, I'm in. Like they did such a good job on it. It makes me really wonder what we're gonna get for, like last year your prize for Worlds, was the UI Goku, and they knew that was going to be like the focus, so they made that the grand prize. So then a part of me wonders, Worlds 7-year anniversary medal card, like that's my dream, and I think that. Yeah, and that's what I like about Masters is that excitement about, like it doesn't matter what it is. They do up the event so big and it's so grand. And so it's so weird to me that, somebody buys up an energy marker for One Piece and it's so much more. And I'm like, I'm not the same as you people.
Yeah, I get that actually. How about you, June? What you got looking forward to?
I am very excited for set 26. We have seen the box art for it, and it's Gogeta versus Broly again. And I am a huge Gogeta fan, so I get to have another Gogeta deck that I can be excited for in the pre-release period, play it once, and realize it's not good.
Oh yeah. What is Gogeta not in yet? Blue? Like what have we not seen him in yet? I think that's it, right?
We've got a blue Gogeta.
Do you think they're going to tie in the game? Because like the box art is the same box art, of the if you buy the collector's edition. Did you notice that?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, the Sparking Zero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of like from Kakarot. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
because that's my hope is that now we're gonna get like Sparking Zero cards because they made Dokkan Battle and all the other
The
stuff.
Sparking Zero one is UI versus Broly, not Gogeta.
Oh.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because it's like crossing
Oh.
over different things, not actual events.
Oh, well now I guess I don't know what I bought for $350.
It's a very nice statue of Goku and Broly fist bumping.
I thought, oh, all right. Well, I thought that was Gogeta. Well, I bought it anyway, so I was wrong.
Mm. I mean, that's still super exciting though. It's like Broly, Gogeta, those are huge fan favorite characters. And coming out just before our nationals, like, oh man. Could you imagine a field of like the biggest tournament of the year, at least in the States? That's not Worlds. Like the biggest tournament of the year, and everybody's just playing like two huge fan favorite characters. I think that's gonna be freaking cool. If that's what it
So
ends up being.
in theory, we have 2 sets for Worlds, right? Nats.
Maybe, right? Like we don't know for sure, but maybe at least
We
one.
just know we know
Yeah.
that distribution is sometime in January. So I would imagine like they always do that for our game. You know what I mean? Or they're like, hey guys, guess what? You thought you only had one set, but surprise, it comes out this weekend, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, yeah, that's what I want. I want to spend a bunch of money for one tournament. Thank you.
Yeah, and the best part is like we watch all the other countries do their Nats on one set, and then we'll just do it on a completely different set.
That's exactly it. Like
Yeah.
I went to Australia. Like I think Australia, did we have it? No, that's when the set came out for Australia, right?
Yeah.
June, we had just got it when we played for you.
Yeah, we had just got the U7 deck.
Yeah, so like
And the whole room was on it. It was a crowd of U7.
I mean, that's also kind of a weakness. It's also kind of a weakness though, because like even if you have proxies out, it's so hard to test. Whereas like being on a deck that you know and like you have all the reps in and the game states, like I think that's an advantage sometimes too.
I will say I
that.
miss that. Like I wish we had more of a time. You know what I mean? Like what was it? October was Asia's. You know what I mean? So before the set even came out, they were like, "Oh, here's this nationals." And you're like, "Well, this data is completely useless."
Yeah, exactly. It's so ridiculous.
But in terms of having the cards out and testing, Untap exists. So if you actually do want to put in the effort and get ready for a major event like Nationals, the resources are there.
That's true. Yeah, Untap, and a quick shout out to the guy who makes that tabletop simulator version. I haven't actually tried it yet myself. I suck at these online battlers, but every review I've heard from the tabletop simulator is just so good. Like everybody's loving it, and the effort he's putting in is just it's coming back and super rewarding. So I mean, kudos to him for putting that effort for this
I
game.
know the alt art thing he's doing is probably the cooler part.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like I mean that's what I'm playing Fusion World right now. I'm not gonna lie, but like I really like that. Like you get to unlock like a special version of your card, like that kind of I don't know. It's nice to have, and so and with how few people I've seen online for the other games, this is nice just to have again. You know.
I agree. Yeah. Plus, I think like having that ability to have those textures on an online client, it's just cool. Like that's so cool about Fusion World.
Yeah, it changes it up. Like I wish Untap just had that because that's a system I know.
Yeah. I guess I never answered it. My bad. Something I'm looking forward to about the Masters coming up. That new anniversary box, I think, is so good for the game. Like,
I agree with that.
Yeah, maybe the product, like, it might excite some people. There's a lot of legacy support, but what I'm more excited about are all the staples being reprinted for people that are like just getting into the game. Like, if you're looking for explosive dances or peel off shoe Mais, this is like your chance to get them from this anniversary box. In addition to some really cool like deck supports and possibly a really good deck coming out of this like Power Wish deck. So I think that's really fun for the game. I love every chance that we can welcome new players into the game. I see it at my own locals that we have just new players trying out the game all the time, and that ability to get into the game is getting easier and easier, right? So
there's reprints as well for the set.
Yeah, they're coming out. I think in each anniversary box. Don't quote me. I think you get 2 explosive dances, 2 peel off shoe Mais, Those are the big ones in my head, and then a couple of other ones in addition to all the anniversary box stuff that's coming with it.
That's awesome. All I know is that when they showed the SLR of that, I was like, yeah, you can act like Masters is dead, but who else has this? Like, this is fantastic.
Oh, everybody that looks at the art of this game just freaking loves it, whether they play it or not. It's insane. But
Historically, anniversary boxes have always been one of the best bang for your buck products. Like, it is a great way to get into the game every single year. And there's always at least one meta-defining archetype within that box.
No, I agree. It's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh's like tins, right? It's the same concept, except we don't get a switch when we win an event in this game. So
I am curious to see how powerful. Like, somebody offered me today to buy up the Go Bros deck, and it was like, I think he wanted 150, and I just debated if I want to spend that right now because I just bought so much of this set, and like, I'm waiting for all the money to come in from all the sales, and I'm just like, like, do I? Is this the thing we're doing or not? Like, I don't know what the correct answer is anymore.
Dude, there's so many cool decks. Like King Cold's getting support. Oh, I'm so excited. It's like 3 cards to support. It's not just a little bit. Bardock Yellow's getting yet another support. Like, I think Bardock Yellow's one of those slept-on decks from last set. Like, Tarpini's card came out, right? It was built for Bardock, and then obviously used in other yellow decks. But, like, now it's getting even more direct support.
You're like, I know exactly what you want. It's this.
Yeah.
With the anniversary support, I have to put in my bet that it has to be good. Like,
yeah.
The deck has always been just underneath the radar, but it's actually a really solid archetype.
Yeah, it is. It has like every tool. It has removal, has free combos, has free draws, like almost everything you can ask for already.
It's got a broken Z leader.
Yeah, that you can bursting into. Like, it's so cool. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for this set, and even the old like Toa support. I know there's a lot of Toa followers out there, so I'm excited to try it myself. Maybe I'll play a black deck for once in an event. I don't know, we'll see. But
Blasphemy.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm super excited to talk to you guys about the ban list. Kind of a short ban list, honestly. We were all waiting for like this monster of a ban list. Maybe, I mean, we knew they wouldn't hit anything in the new set coming out because nothing in the new set other than skill list feels like too oppressive, right? So, but like the small ban list that we did get, it probably addressed the few decks that probably were an issue, and I kind of like that about Bandai. Like, if they're gonna give us cards to play with, let us figure out the problem. I'm a big fan of this. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good way to look at it. Like, you don't need to try so hard,
No, I agree.
Like, just do it. Like, the game is what it is.
No, yeah, for sure. But this was a quick roundtable. Next time we'll try to get more members on. But I really enjoyed hearing your guys' thoughts on this. It definitely helps me for the event I have coming up this weekend. So for those attending the California regionals, DeCosta and I will see you guys there. And from the rest of Checkmate Fusion, I'll see you guys next time.